All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I want to call this podcast is Get Around Confident People. And I don't think a lot of people realize how far that's going to go. And also, kind of get around people that kind of just tell it the way it is. And I think we all have friends out there, family members, or even colleagues that you just know they tell it the way it is, right? And sometimes they could come out offensive. Sometimes they could, they can aggravate you. Sometimes it comes out funny, sarcastic, but you just know what you're getting. You know what's on their mind, right? And, I think people undervalue how important that is a lot of times because I think a lot of us are around a lot of people who bullshit us or just say kind of what we want to hear or just say things that are kind of full of shit. And I'm not here to, judge anybody's friends, family members, or colleagues. Like I'm here to tell you to go, whatever. But what I am saying is if you are somebody who kind of finds yourself wishy-washy in life, and I've been there, I'm still there at times. I'm going to tell you right now. And you want to start accomplishing things, start getting around people that really are doing what you want to do and people that are confident really at doing it. And even if they're, I know this sounds crazy, but even if they're failing at it, because what's interesting is a lot of times you can learn a lot from people that are trying to do something that are confident that are failing, as much as people that are doing it. Because a lot of times you learn what's not working. And I think a lot of times we think, oh no, I only got to get around the person who's successful, which I get that. But here's the deal. The reality is in your life, you're probably going to fail like that person failing, and you may succeed like that other person succeeding. But regardless, you are not either one of those people. You're going to take your own route. Sometimes learning what not to do, I think, sometimes is really, really important because it may be the route you are going to take. And there was this saying with my father used to say in the garment industry that he can show you something in minutes that took 10 years to develop or figure out. Somebody can say something to you or show you something, that can save you hundreds or thousands of hours and can save you thousands of dollars, right? And, if for instance, say I didn't become the filmmaker I wanted to, get to a certain level, which I don't feel that anymore, but I did. And me making just 2 independent films, no big deal. If you're an independent filmmaker, you sit down, I'm going to tell you 20 years of experience I had of what I would maybe do now, but also what I ran into in the past. And a lot of my information may be outdated because things have changed and evolved, especially with technology. But a lot of things I can sit down and tell you could be worth, literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I used to say that there should be a book regarding making a film. It's called How to Raise Money to Raise More Money. Because a lot of times when it comes to making films, especially independent films, it's all about how do you raise money. Well, nobody thinks about how much money that truly takes. And also, do you know how much money it's going to take for you to raise other money? I'm not even talking about schmoozing. I'm talking about putting packages together. How to, getting, from top to bottom. All the things you need that are going to cost money before you even pitch it to try to get money. It's unbelievable. But no one told me that. No one showed me that. I didn't know any better. And a lot of times if you go to a school, film school or a university, they're going to show you how to make money. They're going to show you how to make movies. You paid them for them to show you how to make a movie. You're not paying them to show you how to raise money. Usually they're not even going to get into a lot of that. Sure, they're going to get into budgets and how to get an executive producer and maybe a producer and certain things. But when you hit the real world, where's the money coming from, right? If you don't go to a studio, which most likely you're not going to get a studio film, especially if you want to be an independent filmmaker at the beginning, you're going to have to learn how to make money. So back to being around confident people, I'm just going to go back there, is, I may be somebody that comes off very confident regarding things I know. Other things I just bow out because I don't know about it. I'm the guy who says, hey, I can tell you what I know, and if I don't know about something, go find somebody else. I'm not going to bullshit you. But you may definitely, if you want to start accomplishing certain things in your life, don't be afraid to get around confident people. And it's hard at the beginning. Because a lot of times you get around people that are very intelligent or doing what you want to do at a high level, it's intimidating. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be easy. You're also going to feel very naive, at times very stupid, and lost. I don't care who the hell you are. Now, don't get me wrong, you're also going to be probably enthused a lot of times. But, I even realized this growing up and hanging out with my buddies who have law firms in the city of Chicago, right? And hanging out with a bunch of lawyers who are unbelievable guys. I mean, very intelligent. I'm not talking low-level lawyers here. I'm talking guys that own some of the top firms in Chicago. And I was just very fortunate, went to high school with them. I went to a private high school, and then they went downtown Chicago, and then they went to DePaul, and then you also get to meet a lot of other guys that went to Ivy League colleges, and, and you get around these type of guys, and believe me, when they start talking about certain things, you can just tell the confidence and the knowledge they have is at another level. Now, I'm not saying you have to get to that level if you don't want to, but just having conversations with them on many different things kind of installed even confidence in me, because a lot of times we'd be discussing things that I was doing, and they would kind of be in awe of it and like love it. And I was kind of in awe of what they accomplished as well, or what they're going through, especially when they start talking money. And some of the people they were working with, and even some of my friends even ended up judges. Their girlfriends or wives ended up judges. And you wouldn't think if we, sitting across from one another, we probably couldn't look different or act different. But just being around, when I was doing my films again or doing things, and one of my closest friends being a lawyer, having discussions with him, and he's extremely intelligent, maybe, one of the top most intelligent people I've ever met in my life, hands down. How much information he gives me that is just incredible. It installs confidence, but it's just knowledge. And if you're around confident people, you're going to a lot of times get the right type of knowledge. I'm not saying it's always perfect, or it may not always work for you, but I can assure you, if you, again, want to get something done and you're around the right people that have obviously accomplished it, or even if they're not doing it, if they may be able to lead you to other people that are doing it. Because I think that's the one thing a lot of people underestimate when it comes to friendships, is we all know a lot of people, I think, for the most part. They may not be doing what we're doing, but they are sometimes able to introduce you to other people that do, if you just have the balls to ask them and you're honest about the situation. I learned that again through the entertainment industry. Just for one, I just tried to be a Carmen networker for starters. So I just wanted to help people most of the time, regardless if you were a filmmaker, an author, public speaker, and I think I'm still kind of known for that to a certain degree, is I just loved helping people. So for the most part, it kind of worked to my advantage, because people just automatically wanted to introduce me to other people. So even if they weren't in the film industry, like, Rich, my buddy's an executive producer. Or, hey, my buddy's an entertainment lawyer. You got to meet him in LA, or which is great. So these are all things I just think a lot of people should think about. But yeah, really get around confident people. And it can be even too, I remember even being around really, a lot of fathers and mothers and whatever, with my kids, and especially with my daughters being in and out of the hospital, being around a lot of doctors, learning from them. But back to parents even, sometimes there are parents that are wishy-washy, that are kind of all over the place, which they're not bad. I mean, that's who they are. But then sometimes when you get around really intelligent parents that are doing like certain things, not as showing off, but just learning again from them, and then being confident and just kind of experimenting and learning from them. Because when you're a parent, especially at the beginning, I think we all think we're going to be a certain parent, or we have all this knowledge. And then before you know it, you don't necessarily. And with my daughter at 1 year old having a liver transplant, things like, I'm not around, none of my other family members, friends, or colleagues had sick kids. Like, how do I go through this? I had to go through it independently, but just by talking to doctors, nurses, and other parents that are going through it or have gone through it, was kind of a game changer, and it helped build my confidence, believe it or not, to believing in myself as a parent and my daughter, to know that we are going to get through this. And sometimes it's just those little things in life. And if you are somebody out there, like, be confident, I guess you could say too, in helping other people. If you're really good at something, and, and they need help, you may want to reach out to them as well. I always look at things kind of from both sides, because I think sometimes we see people and, we're like, they're kind of doing that wrong, or I think I could really help them, but I'm not going to bother them. I'm not even going to, if they ask for help, I'll ask them. Maybe just reaching out a little bit and just maybe, even if it's a text or saying, hey, you want to meet out for coffee? I'm just going to kind of tell you what I went through. You sometimes would be shocked at how interested other people are. They're just afraid to ask you, or they just didn't think you had any interest. So something to think about as well. All right. I'm going to wrap it up there. I got to go watch some, Monday Night Football. There's 2 games. I'm down with it. All right. You got any other questions or comments? Hit me up if you want to know more about me, richcelenza.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I want to thank everybody, especially, not only on my podcast where it's going all over the joint, iTunes and all that, but man, my YouTube, my podcast, a lot of people are listening to it on it. Thanks for checking that out. If you're listening on YouTube, if you get a chance to, if you could subscribe to my page. I finally hit over 1,000 people, which has been pretty exciting. But yeah, leave a comment, a question, thumbs up, down, whatever the hell. All right. Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.